on our way to our breakfast business meeting that we have every week, but we haven't had a meeting in 2 weeks. It feels good to do this again because this just helps Ben and I get kind of be able to hash out things that and make decisions that kind of get put on the back burner.
And like, you gotta pick it up every week. I gave her 3 of them. She's so cute.
We're talking about Dev's first paycheck she got yesterday.
She's such a good girl.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really like her.
Okay, that meeting was really good. It was a little bit on the tough side for me. I just noticed like a lot of, it feels like so much is going on and there's all these big heavy events. Like I feel like anxiety about just some things in our life. I just want to show you guys like what our meetings look like. It's really just, I come with a list of things, okay? These are just things where it's like, I want to talk about this, and then we have a calendar out.
I have my list of things on my phone.
And that's it. We just like go through these things that are like on our mind, and we proactively address them. And the main tool we use is a calendar because that's how we express our values, is by giving time towards them, sometimes money. I do feel better now. I can't imagine what it would be like without this now that we have it, because it takes this like special time and for us getting some special food and going out and getting coffee and no distractions to really give this level of focus. We sent out a few emails that were important. I just think this is like one of the most important tools we have in our tool chest. All right, we gotta go though because we have Hebrew in 15 minutes. We just got a fairly unexpected check for $50,000 that I need to go deposit at the bank now. They don't like me filming in here. One of the things we talked about in our meeting was how to spend this money. Specifically, we have this habit or this discipline or practice of taking 10% of it that we receive and giving it back to God in some way, shape, or form. And that actually becomes like fairly difficult and problematic to know even how to spend that kind of money. A lot of people's answers growing up was like, well, you just give it to your church. That's not like as simple for us. We don't feel like very good about that practice. So we're looking for ways to spend the money in a way that we think is honoring to God. But it's like, who said mo money, mo problems? It's not simple. Look at you with your short little shorts. Do you know what time it is?
Tattoo Tuesday.
How are you? How are you?
This tattoo was the last tattoo I got, which was about 5 years ago. The concept for this tattoo came about 1 or 2 years prior to me actually getting it. Ben met this lady, this older lady, at a coffee shop, and he overheard a conversation she was having with this younger gal, and he really liked what he heard, and he was kind of looking for someone to talk to me and kind of mentor me. he helped arrange a meeting with her at the same coffee shop. We sat down. I didn't know this woman at all. She didn't know me. And we only had one meeting ever. But in this meeting, she's talking to me and saying things to me that made total sense about me. And one of the things she said, which I feel like was prophetic or came true in the future, she said, "You're like this cocoon that's," and there's like a caterpillar that's sticking its head out of this cocoon and kind of looking around and kind of still halfway in it, but your head, you know, is out. And then she said, "And then I see you as this beautiful butterfly that's flying all over the place, pollinating all these different flowers." This definitely struck me at the time. Something that I've always struggled with has been lack of confidence and really a lack of boldness. And so 1 or 2 years later, I decided, you know what, this message means so much to me that I want to get this permanently on my body. I felt like I was going through a transformation. And now looking back at the last 5 years, this actually makes a ton of sense to me. So I wanted to get this butterfly coming out of a chrysalis to signify that I'm coming out of this cocoon of like self-doubt and lack of confidence, and I'm gonna be bold. Like there's a golden color here with the butterfly. Whoever I really am on the inside is gonna come out on the outside. This placement of the tattoo and how big it was also significant to me because it was the biggest tattoo I had gotten. It was also on my shoulder, which is one of the more prominent places I could get it. So that was significant for me as well. Time to run.
We got 1 or 2 kids crying right now. I think because of the heat, but we also haven't really been running much the last couple weeks. It's just so funny that 2 months ago we were running a marathon and now we're struggling over mile 2.
It's like 20 degrees hotter than marathon weather.
I think it's so mental though, too.
Yeah.
You're doing good. Keep on going. You want to do a high five?
Some days I like to run. Some days it feels like torture.
It's kind of cute because now Filia is actually cheering Cammy on. And like a mile ago, Filia was the one that was crying. Come on, we're almost there. Oh, good job. Okay, let's go.
The last few times that it's been this hot, I like can't breathe very well. I'm like wondering if I'm having issues with asthma or I don't really know like what it is.
All right, let's go. Time for dinner.
Having stuffed peppers. What's it?
We are doing dinner at my parents' house tonight.
Stuffed peppers.
What? Yeah, you want to say it?
We're having stuffed peppers for dinner from our garden.
Yummy, yummy. Except for I don't really like peppers. But it's hard to complain when they're from the garden. Hi, Mom.
Hi, sweetie.
Are we eating inside here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's cold in here.
I thought it's too warm.
Okay. I was going to end the vlog there, but actually thinking about this whole running thing, I wanted to catch you guys up to speed. That run had some friction on it. Not the right kind of friction. And I was actually really happy with how we resolved it. So I thought it'd be good for us just to share that story of what went down. Because we're going on this run, and I really look forward to our runs because it's a good time for Cammie and I to catch up and talk. And she was really like struggling on this run. I felt like she was really self-absorbed, is maybe the negative way of putting it, because Filia is melting down, memory's melting down, and Cammie's melting down, and I'm like on my own with the kids, and I'm trying to encourage her, and I'm trying to encourage the kids, and then she's like running in front of me and behind me, and so I was getting kind of frustrated. And in the past, I think I would have said something like, you're being kind of bitchy, or maybe there's a nicer way of saying it where I would have said, you're being selfish, you're being self-absorbed, or I don't know, that type of thing. But instead, I tried two things. One was to see things from her perspective, and I could see, okay, I know Cammie well enough to know she really does care, and she really does put effort into running, but this is just really hard for her. But instead of just leaving it at that and saying like, okay, I'm just gonna like try and look glass half full here and then just like shut up, I actually did give her feedback, but I told her how I was experiencing her. So I said, I'm not really enjoying this run because of your attitude right now, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I said, the point was, I'm not enjoying this, which doesn't mean that it's her fault. It's just letting her know that my state is being affected by her state.
It's still really hard, but I think I've learned to try to separate that from how I feel about myself. I was thinking, well, I'm having a hard time, and I don't really think there's like, I'm affecting him, but like, I don't think it's like my fault that he's experiencing me this way, or that the onus is like all on me. And I think in the past, I would have immediately gone there, and then probably would have either like tried to patch things up really quickly, which I didn't really have anything to patch up, but I made it up in my mind that I had stuff to patch up with him, just to get him to not feel that way about me. Or I would get like pissed off at you and be like, what's your problem? I'm the one that's like having a hard time here, and totally invalidate his feelings. The work I've done in my life with 12 steps and this and that has helped me to be able to separate, like, I start here, he starts here, you know, and not to have this like enmeshment happening. I mean, it's still hard. I still don't like that he's experiencing me that way. I'd rather him like be able to like help me more and like absorb more of my hardship, but at the same time, I have learned to validate his feelings. Like, there's nothing wrong with him feeling that way.
So I think my expectations were off, but then I also think, and so I said to Cammie, was like, should I apologize? What should I apologize for? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like maybe you could have had a better attitude, you know, but I'm kind of like leaving that up to her to decide, and you did apologize.
Maybe my attitude could have been better in the sense that I could have brought Ben in more to like my thoughts and emotions and just asked for more help. But I think I was self-consumed enough that I was like, I'm just gonna like get through this, you know, instead of like trying to have a better experience with him.
And now that I'm hearing your side of it more now, maybe I should apologize for not being more accessible or helpful to you, because I didn't even really think of that. I mean, I was like, my expectations were just all not being met, so I was just kind of like bummed out. I mean, I was like trying to help the kids, so I was just kind of like, I was kind of pissy too. Whereas if I think if I was being more unselfish I would have been able to offer more help. So sorry. So that was that. That was that like fight. This is really fun because I felt like in the past it either would have blown up or we would have like ignored it and
then
been
blown
like
up later.
cold shoulder treatment. And it would have been like pretty icy around here because I didn't know how to process feelings and stuff. And
Yeah.
but I feel like we're able to move past this now. All right, see you guys tomorrow.